Hello and welcome to another AMA podcast series. This time joining us is Giant Waffle. Thank you for being here today.
You didn't tell me during the intro. I was drinking water. Oh God. Okay.
Oh yeah, I should have given you more prompt to be
No, it's
ready.
fine. Let's go. Let's do it.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who are watching this for the first time, the way these work is that we have a bunch of questions, like a few pre-ready questions from Reddit. And then the rest of the questions are going to be from people on Twitch watching from chat. So if you're wondering, how do I ask a question? Just do @Zizaran and ask a question aimed at Giant Waffle. And then my moderators are going to pick that up and put it into a document. So they're being super handy. And yeah, I'm excited. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So before we dig into the questions, talk a little bit about yourself. Like introduce yourself, because you're fairly new to POE. So who is Waffle?
So this is my first season I've really played POE. I'd say I've played previously as I own like two of the other stupidly big supporter packs. So I played here and there. But this is the first season I actually took the game seriously, and I wanted to like try really hard to like I don't know, to accomplish whatever goals I set. So it's really good. But I've been on Twitch since like 2011, like back when Twitch was just becoming Twitch, right after they switched from Justin TV to Twitch. I started off kind of in a weird area. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my channel because no one really knew what streaming was going to become in the next like 7 or so years. So I love Day 9, and Day 9 introduced me to Twitch and mainly Justin, but also live streaming. So I wanted to be him. I wanted to be the next Day 9. I wanted to cast StarCraft games, and I love StarCraft. I discovered it thanks to him. So that's what I tried to do. I tried to cast StarCraft games, and I wasn't very good at StarCraft, so I wasn't very good at casting. And it kind of did introduce me to the technology of streaming, which is fun. And I kind of, over the course of like a year or so, kind of progressed into other stuff. I realized, hey, I'm not very good at this, but I do like this live streaming thing. So I started playing other games here and there, mainly like old school Minecraft. I'm talking like the meta.inf days where you had to like delete. You don't know. It's just old Minecraft before the big boom of like 2013, 2014. And since then, I basically just I've been doing it pretty regularly. I was in college at the time. Many streamers, I think, start off when they're in college, and I was one of the guys actually ended up dropping out of college because it was fairly successful. I was paying for rent and food plus extra, and I was saving up for moving and stuff like that too. So after about 3 years, I dropped out of college my senior year, surprisingly, and I went full-time with streaming because I was making more money at that time than I was going to make straight out of college in a job. So it seemed pretty realistic to just be able to invest more time into it. Mm-hmm. But that was 2014 to 15. Dropped out. I moved across the country to Seattle. I continue to stream pretty much regularly every day. I think I stream more than the average streamer per month. I like streaming a lot. So I kind of built up the whole thing on Minecraft. And then eventually, after about 10 to 14-ish thousand hours of Minecraft, you don't really know because there's no way to track it. Yeah. But we kind of estimate based on hours played. Kind of got a little stale, like doing the same stuff over and over again. So I transitioned over to more of a variety style of stuff where we play pretty much all the new stuff, anything that I want to play, old stuff. But it doesn't really matter. I've never really been great at a single genre, but I have had like a knack for like just being able to think things through. So puzzle games are always a great one for me. And one of the reasons why I think I love POE so much, there's a lot of thinking to it. So.
And was doing variety hard in the start?
Yeah, no, it was impossible because when you build your audience up on a single game, when you transfer over to a different game, you lose 80% of your viewers. And it was really difficult to make that transition. So it took a long time. I transitioned off of Minecraft over a course of like about a year. And then now it's just basically variety to do kind of whatever, which is awesome. It's been really, really fun. I suggest everyone at some point be able to do variety just for your own sanity, because as much fun as your main game is, it's just like there's not many people that can stick with the same game for every day for like, and streamers, it's a whole different, like you're not just playing, you're like deep into it. Like you're playing 10 hours a day or something like that. So I don't know about all y'all, but I'm the kind of like I'll play a game and get super invested for 2 weeks and then find a new one kind of thing. So
right. Yeah.
It was impressive.
I love playing one game over and over again, so it's easier for me.
Yeah. You're a very unique individual, and I feel like sometimes people stay in the same genre, and that's pretty normal. But then some people can't even do that. They have to go outside the genre and play
Yeah.
a little bit of everything, and that's what I definitely find. I definitely find where I shine in. But that also means you're never really going to master anything. You can call yourself a master of PoE because you played so many hours of it, right? It's very difficult to do that unless you actually put so many hours into it.
Yeah.
So I
How
kind of
did
find
you find
myself
PoE?
like, we'll get there. We're almost there. So I moved and I started doing variety, right? I started playing everything, and I never ever dabbled in ARPGs
Yeah.
until I want to say it was not Betrayal. It was what was the first time I ever loaded up PoE? I want to say it was when the Katava supporter pack came out. Was that in 3.0?
Yeah.
Or was
Yeah, that was the
I think it was-
expansion launch. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 3.0 expansion launch. That was my first ever dabble. I played for a day, maybe a day and a half, and I bought the Katava supporter pack. Because as a joke, my stream wanted me to try it. As a joke, I put a goal up on the stream, and they hit it almost instantly to buy it. And that was the start, man. I still have that T-shirt and the
Nice.
art book and everything. I was thinking of actually wearing it for this, but yeah, that was like, I didn't know it, but that kind of planted the seed for Path of Exile back in like, what was that, 2015 maybe?
No, 17, I think.
26?
Maybe,
No way.
Maybe even 18. Yeah.
No way. It must have
17
been
or
like
18. No.
I swear it was right when I moved to Seattle. It must have been 2016. Really? Okay. Either way,
I think it's. I can find out exactly. Version 3.0.
it kind of proves the fact that I didn't really.
2017.
Yeah, I didn't really play a lot back then. I played like a day or so. It was too confusing. I hit P and I almost like deleted the game. Like the passive tree was way too intense for me. The game has a bit of a noob filter, and I feel like I was one of the noobs on the side that couldn't handle it because I don't know why. I just didn't have the patience for the game at the time.
Yeah, it's definitely, I've like seeing you improve and stuff. It's been really, really fun because obviously the first time you play, I was watching and I was like, oof. But now it's like,
I played for like 2 days during then, but I did come back for Betrayal League. Everyone kind of came back. It was kind of weird, but everyone came back for Betrayal League, and I played it, and it was really, really rippy, and I felt like I was doing something really wrong. Again, I've always like played softcore, Trade League and everything, so I played with some friends, but I never really got into it. Played for about like a week or so. My friends got way more into it than me, and I never even really got to mapping, I'd say. I definitely did at some point, but I didn't really understand what the end. Like I thought PoE was like the story. I didn't really realize it was like the end phase was, the intro, just being the axe. That's kind of like the tutorial.
Yeah.
And then once you get past the tutorial, then you actually play the game. So yeah, I kind of got into PoE for this being my first season. Like realistically, I just played it and dabbled here and there as a variety streamer. There's a bunch of streamers that will come in and play for a week or two and then stop. And this is the first league where I've been like, I'm going to continue with it. I'm going to try to go as hard as I can. But I've just kind of maintained that mindset for a lot of games I play. I'll kind of like get really into something for a while and just like try to learn it as best I can. And there is no better time to play PoE than in December when the new expansion launches and there's so much fresh content. And there's also no other games that come out in December. I don't know why, but December is a month where nothing gets released. So it's just PoE all month. It's been great.
That's true. It's really good. And you also play a lot of games with like Lyric and Shorty, right? How did that start out?
Yeah, so that was back again. I've been playing with them forever. I met Lyric way back in like 2013 or so. We used to both watch Towley actually back in 2011, and he used to type in chat, in Tolly's chat when he was offline, like, "Hey, I'm playing Battlefield, come watch." And 20 people would go watch Lyric. He was Lyric with 2Ks back then, before he name changed and everything. But yeah, we used to play games. DayZ came out, and that was a big game for me. I'd say about 6 months. I don't know if you remember this, Ziz. I don't know how long you've been streaming for, but I don't remember the first like 6 months of my streaming career, because at this point it was so long ago. I just I had like 20 viewers for like 6 months, and I just don't remember it. I know like there's VODs that exist, and I played a lot of games, and I stream like 3 to 4 times a week. I just it was just kind of like this weird phase where it's just like it's gone now.
Yeah, you've been streaming so long, it's insane.
Yeah, I streamed a lot of DayZ back then, and I legitimately was a stream sniper. That's how I met him. I stream snipe Lyric. I remember I met him on Green Mountain. I remember the day and everything. I met him, and we got into TeamSpeak back then to talk and to communicate. And we started playing games like DayZ pretty much every day, and I would just stream because I wanted to be like a second camera angle for him if people wanted to watch it, which they did. And that kind of blew up and everything. But like I said, I don't stick with games very long. So a few months went by, and I kind of got bored of DayZ.
Mhm.
So I stopped playing, he kept playing, and then I switched over to Minecraft, and both of us had our success in our separate games,
Wow.
which was really cool. Shorty came in the same time, like he was another stream sniper for DayZ. And then at night, when we weren't playing our separate games, we'd all kind of just, we do what's called a night stream. We play games together. There'd be random stuff like Duck Game. Back then we played a lot of, what was it, like Spy Party and stuff like that. Just fun, like co-op games and everything. And for some reason, we've just stayed really good friends. I mean,
Yeah.
we got good chemistry, and we've been playing games now for, I want to say, probably 7 years.
Wow.
So
That's really cool.
yeah.
I always enjoy watching you guys play that like Tetris game. That's always really fun to watch.
Yeah, that's the one game I'm really good at. All of us have our unique games that we're good at for like co-op stuff, like party games. And Tetris is just my jam. So
Wow.
it's been pretty
That's
good.
crazy. So are you always like the three of you looking for games to play together, or?
Yeah, and we played Betrayal League and everything. When we got into that, they are the ones that convinced me to play, because I wasn't really interested in playing an ARPG again. But they are the ones that were like, hey, let's pick a character together, let's play together, we'll even do co-op or whatever. And that's kind of like, again, the seed was planted in 3.0. It was grown slightly in Betrayal League, and then not Blight League. The current league, Metamorph, is just like where it just blossomed, I feel. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely a part of that.
So talk a little bit about what you've done so far in Metamorph. Like, you're level 96 or something now?
95. I'm not going to go for 96, I don't think. At least not yet.
Right.
I've learned through a lot of trial and attrition that it's not great to focus on leveling, especially at that point, when you haven't even finished all the endgame content that you can easily do at that point. So, okay. So it started in Blight League 2 weeks before Metamorph came out. I was coming off of Streamvember, which is a big event I do where I stream a ton in a single month. I try to do the most hours like ever, but I wanted the game to play, and I knew Path of Exile was coming out, and I just sat down and I was thinking, okay, nothing else is coming out in December. I want to make POE the game that I'd like take really seriously, because I haven't really taken a game seriously in a while for all of December. So I was like, I need to prep. There's no way I can just go into Metamorph, especially with the new Atlas stuff coming out, and just know how to play. Like, I'm going to be frustrated, and I'm not going to know how to like even map, or like how to do builds and use third-party tools and website. Like, I'm not going to know how to do that. I'm also not going to know the other previous league mechanics. So I gave myself a 2-week period, and I said over those 2 weeks I was going to practice and learn the game. So when the game came out, I was going to be able to just like go as fast as possible, because everyone, you even remember us, we did a hardcore race back in the day. I want to say it was like over a year ago or so. Yeah. And it's just like,
oh yeah, that was fun.
You want to go as fast as possible. And as fast as possible for me was like 14 hours to beat Act 10. So I was like, I want to do it in 7. Like 7 is like, and everyone just laughed at me instantly, because I like never really played the game before. They all laughed. So yeah, I started just learning. I just every day I sat, even off stream and on stream, I would just basically watch videos. I watched a lot of your videos, and POE is crazy because there's so many unique content developers on Twitch and on YouTube, and they all have their own unique style, and they all go. There's so many builds. Not one person can cover them all. So everyone's got their own like specialty and like what they cover. So I just watched everything I possibly could, just everything. And try to absorb as much information. And a lot of people are making fun of me for like, oh, you're going to burn out. Like, why are you even playing Blight League? Like, why not just wait for the new league? It's like, you can't just wait. You have to, you really have to spend the time and learn. And I 100% am happy I did that, because it made the Metamorph League so enjoyable, because I knew everything that was old, and I just got to add on the new stuff and figure out and focus on the new stuff. I didn't have to figure out like how to do crafting, right? I had to figure out the new crafting things, but I didn't have to learn how to craft and then also add the new stuff. I didn't have to, like doing the atlas and doing mapping and everything. I knew how to do that as well. What I was shooting for build-wise, how to transition based on items you're getting and stuff too. So it was cool. I also was practicing doing the story as fast as possible. And I actually did get a 7-hour Act 10, which was really cool.
That's really
and that
good.
made me happy. Now, I didn't shoot for that on League launch, but basically I took all that information that I learned in about 2 or so weeks from just everything. I made some spreadsheets, and I had a bunch of bookmarks and websites, everything you might need for that kind of stuff. The only thing I didn't do is Betrayal League, because I hated Betrayal League. I'll come back to this in a second, because I love Betrayal League now. But I learned everything I could, and then right at Metamorph launch, I already had a plan. And I watched a video, again, of just there's tons of like build videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out a build to go in for Metamorph, and I didn't know what to choose, because the new patch notes come out 2 to 3 days before League launches. And essentially, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're in my shoes, you just look at what everyone else is saying. Like, oh, Ziz says, Arc is going to be good again. I'm going to go Arc. Like, oh, he's recommending me to do Winter Orb. Okay, I'll do Winter Orb. Cool. And that's usually the right choice. This time I wanted to go into it with my own thoughts. I wanted to go into it with a different mindset, where I'm not just taking a build that someone else has made. And I want to kind of like find a skill that I like, and I enjoy what it looks like and how it plays, and then expand that into a real build for the new League using the patch notes and everything, and then try to take that as far as possible. Mm-hmm. And I found a video of the thanks to ExileCon, the Soul Rend cat, a celestial cat microtransaction, and immediately I was like, that's my skill. I'm gonna make a build around that skill entirely. I want like, it looks so good, and it was so clean, and it was a microtransaction that I actually like looking at. Most of them are like crazy to me.
Yeah,
and hurt my eyes.
Very over the top.
Yeah, I'm like a boomer, and my eyes hurt when I watch some like Arc builds that are just like all over the place. So I spent like a solid 2 weeks learning the game, but also practicing new skills. I tried Summoner, we tried Totems. I was thinking maybe Divine Ire might be a thing I'll do.
And you tried Orb of Storms?
Yeah, I learned about Winter Orb of Storms. I was also trying Melee a little bit, because I heard this League was maybe going to be cool if they redid Melee. I knew for a fact, though, I did not want to do bow builds, because I was so set in stone that I was going to play on Trade League.
Yeah.
I knew everything was going to be super expensive. So I was like, I'm going to do an off-meta build. And no one told me that Trickster wasn't off-meta. Trickster's apparently like always on meta. So I was like, I'm going to do an off-meta build. That way I can just like, get whatever I need. So I went with a Soul Rend Bane Trickster build, and it is right now, I guess, ex facto, amazing. It came out really, really good. We started with a already known build in the forums, and then I basically figured out what that build was doing. I took it all apart, and I basically just like built my own passive tree. I had some people from stream tweak stuff like, yeah, actually, like, this is gonna be better than this. I gave it to you. You ripped apart my entire bottom right of the passive tree, because you're like, you do not need to go to those nodes, which saved a bunch of points. I figured out also, thanks to your challenge for a solo self on hardcore, I knew for a fact I was not going to be able to do hardcore, because POE is a very, very difficult game, and I was already still very new. Mm-hmm. I thought it'd be better for me to play solo self-found, though, and just not do the hardcore part. So I decided to go a solo self-found build, which essentially means you can't have any uniques. You can't guarantee any uniques are going to happen, because you just might not get lucky enough to get them, even if they're very common
really annoying.
Uniques. So I decided to go with a build that was viable even without any uniques. And Soul Rend actually was a pretty damn good build without uniques. So it ended up being perfect. The patch notes actually buff Soul Rend a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I was expecting more, but I'll take it. But in the end, I'm currently sitting at like 600,000 DPS, which I think is pretty good. I don't know what to compare it to, but I'm clearing T16 maps, and I'm doing it's not too bad.
What bosses did you kill so far?
I don't think I've really killed many bosses. I've gone all the way up to Cirrus. I have almost killed Cirrus, but I just, the first time I fought Cirrus, it was bugged because it was on day 2.
Yeah.
And then the second time I fought Cirrus, what happened? I was on a 5 link, by the way. I just got a 6 link.
Yeah, because I was watching. I was actually getting info from watching you. So
yeah,
it's useful.
So I should have. I definitely did not succeed in the second Cirrus fight either, but I got really close. I think I was within like 10%, and that was like a 16 Watchstone Cirrus. So I could have easily done it if it was 0 Watchstones. But yeah, I've taken it pretty far, and I've learned a lot. But it's been I don't know. It's been like a really fun experience, just like immersing myself entirely into a game and playing it a lot. I now have 5 days of in-game time on my main character, which I mean, I kind of went as hard as you did at the very beginning. I do like
Yeah.
24-hour stream, 18-hour stream, 20-hour stream.
Yeah, you
for
went
like
really hard.
And I actually
You have to
hit.
kill Sirius though.
I will. Oh no, don't worry. Today is. I'm waiting for one more. Well, I'm gonna go after it again. I'm waiting for one more Conqueror to show up, and my Atlas will be
Nice.
good. But I was just gonna say something. It's been a really good time playing this league, and I've had a lot of fun with this league mechanics. It's been good. Solo Self-Found was an amazing choice, and I'm still very happy I'm sticking with Solo Self-Found. Because I was in Solo Self-Found, I actually hit rank 1 Trickster after 24 hours of gameplay, which was crazy to me to think that I could be like the highest XP Trickster in Solo Self-Found. And I know there probably isn't a lot of Solo Self-Found players, and most of them are on the hardcore league for your challenge. But it's still something I was really proud of,
No, that's awesome.
which was cool. And then 2 days later, I was like still top 4. And then 3 days later, I was still top 4. And then 4 days later, 5 days later, I was still top 5, top 10. And I think right now I'm still sitting in a pretty high tier for Trickster. But I actually was able to like keep up really well with like my ascendancy. And I didn't expect that. My goal was to be in the top 100 for the first 3 days and then probably drop off. But I hit number 1, and then we were able to just sustain that for like a long time. So it's been really, really cool doing that. And this actually makes me want to like go even harder for the next league, because now I know like the potential and like what I can do and how to improve upon that as well. And it's been a lot of fun. There's still a lot I want to do, and I can definitely do it with this build. So I'm just going to keep working on it, keep crafting, and hopefully defeat every boss in the game, because I think the build's viable to do that.
And I'm excited. I'll be watching. Let's start with some more of the questions from people as well. The first one is from H Junters, and he's asking, you guys play the game almost every day, which is obvious because you love the game and the community, but is there anything you dislike about GGG or the direction where PoE is going? So, like, has that been changing in like a better or worse like direction from like the different times that you played the game? Because now it's gotten a lot harder.
So this is something I've like thought about for a while. PoE, and the biggest issue with PoE going into the future is what's called complexity creep. You've been playing the game for like how many hours now? Like 10,000 plus hours?
19,000.
Yeah. Oh my God. So you've put a lot of work into learning every mechanic of the game as they've come out and everything. That's been great. But the game, you've been playing this for over 4 or 5 years at this point. As a new player that just decided to actually learn the game, there are so many mechanics that you got to learn one at a time, because that's when they came out, right? That I had to cram into my head at the same time. There is 17 different ways to craft modifiers into things, and there's 10 different league mechanics that you all like. I hated Betrayal because it was so complicated. Now that I took some time to learn it, I love Betrayal. It's one of my favorite league mechanics, actually.
It's probably the most complicated one.
No, it's not. It's actually the easiest, in my opinion. It's so simple if you just use that one chart that was made. It is so nice to use.
Yeah.
But it's just, as a brand new player, PoE has this insane like knowledge curve, like almost like wall that you have to get over, because you can't just kind of like go into one part of something. You kind of have to learn everything. You have to learn the whole like kind of the whole game. And that's kind of a turnoff for new players, and why I think a lot of players can prefer easier ARPGs over PoE. It's something that I find a lot of pride in, because I did spend the time and I did learn it. But it's definitely difficult and daunting for new players to learn. So that's like the one issue I think that GGG has going forth into the future. And complexity creep also has to do with just all the on-screen clutter. There's so much to pay attention to, and so many little things that can kill you so easily, that it's like I could never play hardcore. That's too crazy for me. And it's just, I'm happy I know it now, and I'm gonna have a much easier time next league. In the following league, it's gonna get easier and easier. But it was a lot to learn, and not everyone has the kind of time that I have to invest into it.
Yeah, that's true.
This is my job. So
the next question is actually by Skill Dots, which he's asking, hardcore Solo Self-Found when? Do you think you'll ever like try that out as like an extra challenge when you feel like you're done with the other stuff?
Yeah. I just said I don't think I can do hardcore. I'm going to attempt hardcore, probably for a challenge league,
Mhm.
at some point. We usually do challenge leagues like a month or two after the actual league starts, because I think people are looking for fun stuff to do.
Yeah.
I think I'll do that. I think I'll do a hardcore challenge, but again, if I can beat even Act 10 Kitava, I'll be very impressed, because it's pretty rippy. I got to learn those fights, but
Mm.
besides that, for hardcore, it just seems about like not taking risks. If you just don't take risks, it really is not that difficult. Like, don't do the league mechanics, don't do
Yeah.
things that are like do lower level maps, and you can cruise pretty fast and consistently in hardcore if you just don't take the risks.
And just
But
don't get hit.
just don't get hit, yeah, right? By the little black orb that's on top of black goo. Yeah, don't get hit
Yes.
by that.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
hate that design. Like, speaking of like
Yeah.
the volatile things, literally the fact that it makes the entire ground covered in like just I don't know what to call it, lore. I don't know, like graphic lore. It's just it doesn't actually do anything, but then the volatiles are on top of it and it does so much damage. It makes no sense. It's so
Yeah.
much clutter.
I know it's more of like an AMA to me, but I want you to answer that question too. Like, what do you think is the biggest issue with POE and GGG and the direction they're taking the game?
I'd say graphic clutter is the worst part too, because it like sometimes there'll be like your entire screen is covered in like there's breach, there's like a rampage thing firing off, your skill effects are taking off half the screen, and then there's like one little arrow coming in and one-shotting you. Like, well, maybe you could have dodged it if you could see it, but you're dead. Or like corpses being detonated on the ground. There's like definitely like the clutter is like way too bad.
Yeah, I've noticed every single player that has died that streams, when they die, they have to go through the VOD and go frame by frame on the clip to figure out how they died. That's an issue. That's definitely a problem in my opinion, the clarity.
Yeah. Well, other than that, like, I don't know how you feel about this, but I like the increased difficulty of this patch. Was that harder as a new player, or how do you feel about it?
I died a lot. I died a lot. I have 100 and some odd deaths. I have to do the command in my channel. I have like 150 deaths right now at level 95 with 5 days of gameplay. And I know that's actually not even a lot for what most like players that, especially your new players that have.
Yeah.
They have like 300 plus deaths at this point. It's very rippy, and it actually stopped me from doing the league mechanics anytime I was over like 40% XP, because I just didn't want to die and lose XP.
It's very insane.
I know, like, I don't play hardcore, so I'm not really sure like, it's not really comparable, but I would die on level 94. I died 10 times on level 94, meaning I did the level twice essentially, because you lose 10%. Yeah. Every time I died, I lost about 45 minutes to an hour of work, depending on how efficient I was mapping at that time. That was rough for me, man. When I died 4 times in a row once, I just sat there and I was like, that's just 4 hours of my life just deleted. Which I assume, like, if you play hardcore, it just amplified. Like, well, the last 3 days are useless now.
Yeah. So. Well, that's the thing though. You don't lose everything. Normally, you've found other items, and sometimes you've leveled up gems for other builds. You don't lose everything. It's very disheartening if you haven't found anything and you do lose everything. Like my last death, I was literally just about to get an Empower level 3 that I was gonna try to evolve to level 4, and then I died. So I was like, I just lost like all the stuff I'd been working towards. That's heart shattering. But most of the time, you do get quite a lot of stuff for new things.
Yeah. So it's been that's I don't know, man. Hardcore, I definitely could see myself doing at some point for a challenge, but I do think I don't know for a league start.
Very daunting for a league start.
I would really have to practice a lot more, and I think if with the way GGG is going with visual clarity, or just essentially visual clutter, it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
So I'll see.
Well, maybe we can do some like dual setups. We can do like 2-man hardcore or something if you want. Dude,
group hardcore needs to be a thing.
I'm trying very hard on that.
Amazing. So that's a thing they just announced is going to be happening for RuneScape. There's going to be group Ironman. There's going to be ladders and everything. If someone dies, you basically, the only way to continue is to bring a brand new character in. Like, you can't migrate a character from one team to the other. And I think that'd make a really, really cool race, having a team work together.
So we've done that once so far. We had a group self-found that TGD sort of helped with. There was nothing like super official. It was basically one private league. People were only... It was mostly honor system, but TGD were checking to make sure nobody played with each other. But I'm working very hard on 2 things like that. I'm trying to convince them we should have group self-found as an official mode. I'm also trying to convince them that we should have medium core for special events. medium core would be instead of losing your character when you die, you lose X amount of items.
Huh. Yeah, it's interesting.
So I'm hoping
Like
to
you,
get
you
like something, and not as like a permanent league, but like for special events, like something you can do as a private league or in the second or third month.
It's interesting. Can I go back to the question you asked about what I don't like with GGG as well?
Yeah, of course.
Why are their microtransactions so expensive? I don't understand this. They're making a lot of money. They have to making a lot of money off microtransactions. Why are a pair of butterfly wings $30? I don't get that. I feel so like exorbitant and like the cost of things. It's kind of crazy. It's free to play, by the way. Like it just seems.
So while I agree, I have a sort of different take on that. As long as the ones that I would consider necessary have good prices, like like the stash tabs, which I think we should get more stash tabs for free. I think it should be at least 5 or 6 now with the amount of stuff in the game. Having 4 now is insane. Like I always feel like the game is closer to buy to play. Like you need 15 to 20 bucks or you're gonna go insane. But
Yeah,
still,
I would say without $20, yeah.
With all the cosmetics, they should, in my opinion, and I'm guessing they have research on this based on like their numbers and what they're seeing, right? They should just price them on whatever makes them the most amount of money. Because the cosmetics doesn't affect the game, right? So as long as the stuff that like does affect the game is fairly priced, I don't really care if the wings are like so expensive. Because whatever gets them the more money to continue development and give us content every 3 months, that's great. And as long as the stuff that does affect the game is like decently priced.
I agree, but I don't agree. And I think that's actually part of a problem with the world nowadays. You don't have to make the most money. I think that's a bad mindset, especially for developers to get into. As long as they're funding the development and they're able to continue expansion as much as they need, they don't need to make, 50,000% profit. Just, I feel like that kind of gets to the point of like, where does greed take over? I think that there's also a way to say that if you price things cheaper, you'll sell more of them, which will actually make more money than expensive things selling fewer. So, and you want, I feel like you want more of your players to enjoy that kind of stuff too. So I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a.
I see that. I do think with POE though that most of the money goes back into like increasing the team. Like they've been, like obviously they started out with 2 or 3 people and now they have like hundreds.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's one of my things. I want to buy like more I want to buy all the microtransactions, but I'm just sitting there and I'm like, you just made a hideout that is a skybox and it's $20. Like what? Like what's going on here? Like it feels weird.
No, for sure. That's true. Like some of the things are insane. And on that term, on that note, I hate mystery boxes. I hate loot boxes in games.
This one was so much worse, dude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because this one has so much cool stuff in it.
And you combine them, so you not only have to get one and the other, but you gotta get
they've been doing that for a while now.
I just got the portal, and I just like, oh man.
Yeah, I hate them. Like and I buy them. I don't really am that particularly strong-willed there, but like, yeah, hate it.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you. The best thing is when you buy the supporter packs, and I think it's the best thing about the game. They give you in-game currency equivalent to that supporter pack. So you end up like if you want to buy the game like a $30 supporter pack, you end up with $30 of in-game currency. So not only do you get the skins, but you also can spend it on stash tabs, whatever you need.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's something that probably I don't know. Hopefully they'll change at some point.
I doubt it. 100% doubt it. But we can move on to the next question, which is I like this question. You're Not Riza is asking, will you go to the next ExileCon?
Is it in New Zealand?
Well, the last one was in New Zealand. I think they've talked about doing it in like America as well. So we don't know. We don't even know when there's going to be one or if. But they were very happy with the last one. They talked about Vegas,
I was very jealous of the card game that was played at ExileCon. Can you explain to me, was that as cool as it looked on stream?
Okay, so when I first saw it, I was like, okay, bit weird. But then I started playing it, like, because I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this. And I, like, streamed it. And it was so fun, dude. So it was basically, you got, like, some white items, some blue items, some rare items. And you could craft them. You could put armor scraps on them. And the crafts were basically, they, like, give you a random sticker with, like, plus stats. And you would have to have, like, in the start, all the zombies, like, the low-level monsters, there was, like, a queue of people wanting to kill them. Because you, like, you just had to defeat them. So, for example, you would need, like, maybe, like, 1 fire attack and then one like cold defense on your armor, and then you gave them those cards, they would like clip them with like a clipper to make sure that, because you have durability. And then they would give you random loot, and you could get unique, so you could get like a disfavor and stuff. Some guy got a disfavor off the starter zombie, so he was just running around killing everything after that. And I really wanted to go for like killing the Shaper, Chris, because I thought like how cool it would be if I actually killed Chris IRL at ExileCon. That sounds really out of context. I mean, in the card game, but like how cool would that be? And on the first day, I went really hard, and I managed to get the Guardians, or got 2 Guardians, but I couldn't find them. Like they're just
hiding in the
yeah,
breaker.
I just couldn't find where they actually were. So I was really, really sad about that, and I wasn't actually able to do anything on the second day because I had so many like interviews and like the on stage stuff. But it was super cool. If they ever do one again, I definitely hope they do it. Like the only bad thing about it was that the crafting bench wasn't enough people standing there like helping us craft, because there was a queue, like a very long queue, like 30-40 minutes.
For that reason alone, I really considered like maybe going to the next ExileCon. Like that was such a I've never seen an at convention event that takes over the whole convention that seemed as involved and fun as that.
It was
And
amazing.
that someone's putting some thought into it, man. That was really cool.
Yeah, definitely hope they do that again. And I actually have, I can show here, like, so when me and Blue killed Shaper as the world first, I did it with the Bringer of Rain. Some guy came up to me and was like, hey, Ziz, you killed Shaper with Bringer of Rain. Here's the Bringer of Rain. So, like, gave me one.
Oh, dang.
That was really cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah. Shoot.
Yeah.
It looked fun, though, man. I love, by the way, my favorite part of all of ExileCon was Einar. I loved Einar. That was so funny. The whole thing was so funny to me. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but it was so, that was like the one, like the most memorable part of it was Einar. It was so good. I want to meet him and just talk to him.
He was really cool. I ended up hanging out a bit with him. He was like staying at the same hotel as well. And yeah, it was pretty like scary standing on stage like that. So he did really well.
Yeah. It was good.
Okay,
So
I think
the answer is maybe.
Okay.
We'll see.
I'm gonna remember that down as a yes. I'm going, and then I'm gonna force you into it next time. Right. I think you'll like the next question. With this is from Lazarus Project. With Giantwaffle recently going for an incredible amount of streaming hours in a single month, and Sis also having done that in the past, how do you find yourself able to continue to push through after the first couple of weeks of no sleep and constantly broadcasting your waking hours? Is there anything you tell yourself for motivation, or is it just sheer willpower after the halfway point?
I think you and I understand this better than most people. Doing it is very easy. Like staying up and doing a lot of streaming or just like working a lot, it's very easy when you want to. When you're forced to, it's like the worst thing in the world. But I don't think there's a day that goes by where like either of us don't want to stream, right? It's just something that's very easy and we enjoy a lot.
I don't know, Blight League?
I play Blight League. Wait. By the way, totally interjecting here. Cassia is my new waifu for POE. I love her. She's amazing. And I know you hate her somehow, but she is incredible. She has the best league mechanic. It drops like literally the best loot. It's so easy. It's like no risk at dying. And she sings. What more do you want from a waifu than that, right?
I want her not to exist.
It's the best. She's the best.
And the unrighteous will burn to ash, to ash, to...
When she was on every map, it kind of got a little overbearing. But now that she's not, dude, every time I see her, I'm like, Cassia, like, let's go.
I hate it so much, dude.
But yeah, when you really enjoy it, it's easy to do. But there's a bit of a determination part of it too. So I'm very stubborn with my pride, and sometimes I'll set goals to do things, like stream longer than anyone's streamed before. And when I didn't know back like 2 years ago, I didn't know like the record was that you set it. I don't even know what it was. There was like 400 and some odd hours. 415 back then. And I was like, oh, that's not that bad. And you get into it, you're like, wow. But you set a goal for it, and you like stubbornly. I'm stubbornly prideful and have to stick with it. So you do, and in the end, it's always worth it.
Yeah. And like you did a lot of prep work for this, right? You like prepared a lot ahead of time.
Yeah. I knew I was gonna have to. How is for you like kind of prepping this? Streaming a lot of hours. Like, have you been having trouble with that recently? this year specifically
Mm,
for the launch because
yeah. So
it's
I definitely am starting to feel the age. Like past
yeah
30, it definitely makes a difference. And also that I'm not in great shape. That's why like a lot of people are like, "Ooh, are you gonna like try to beat the record this December?" And I'm like, "No, there's no way. I would probably die because I'm just not
yeah
in as good shape." And the hardest part for me is that I have sciatica. So every time I'm sitting down and streaming, I have like massive pain in my leg. So that definitely like makes like the longer anything past 16 hours, I'm sitting like, hey, this hurts.
yeah. And then you'll I had pretty bad pain in my my upper back and my neck area.
Mm,
That sucked. What was it also? Your diet's really important. That's something I had to
yes.
like kind of pay attention to. I was gonna be on camera so much. I was thinking, like I probably need to not order like fast food or like
Yeah.
Uber Eats. So I was thinking like I should learn how to cook or do my own food and stuff. So I kind of made that part of it, which was great because it used hours, but also it was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I've actually never eaten as much ever per day. Like I felt that I was going through so much energy because obviously you're trying to entertain people and also like focusing on a lot of different things. So yeah, I was eating maybe like 4 or 6 hours to like keep energy levels up. And my girlfriend, like this was like before I proposed to her and stuff, and I just started dating her. She was like, "How are you going to like eat and like wake up in time and stuff when you're gonna try to set this record?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'll order takeout and find a way." And she was like, "Wouldn't it be easier if I just stayed over and made you food every day?" I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great." So that
Yeah,
definitely helped a lot.
yeah. It's like I also was thinking the same way. Like I'm not going to be able to talk to any of my friends. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be able to go outside. I'm not like I actually forgot where my shoes were because I haven't seen them in 2 weeks. Like where did I put my shoes? Like I cleaned up and I couldn't remember. So it was a challenge because I didn't have the luxury of having someone make me meals. I had to figure out how I was going to do it
Yeah.
myself. So it was fun. Again, challenges are fun, man. Like when
Yeah,
you
for sure.
definitely
And is
very
that
motivating.
something? Are you going to like try to do it again?
No, I'm not going to go for the hours again. It's currently I don't know if you heard. It's currently 594 or something like that hours in 30 days, which is at this point over 20 hours a day. So oh, I guess it's right. It's just under 20 hours a day. So no,
I think I can do it.
yeah, I couldn't.
I don't know.
It's
I might not.
yeah,
See, there's actually one thing that kind of puts me off it, which I know isn't really like the responsibility of the person doing it. But last time I was doing it, because like I'm guessing it's the same for you, but whenever I was doing it, right, there's like so many people are subbing, loads of people are tuning in to like see and stuff like that, right? So a lot of people see that, and that was when I hit 10K subs. So a lot of people are like, wow, this is like so good for this and like exposure and stuff like that. So there was a lot of like smaller streamers like doing it. I remember like one guy was like diabetic. Some people were like in bad shape. And I'm like, you know, at the time I had gone to like two different doctors and a dietitian to like get lots of info and stuff. Whereas I'm like, these guys probably didn't do that. They also don't have a standing desk and they didn't seem to be stretching a lot. So while it's not really my responsibility, I also started worrying a little bit for the other people doing it.
yeah, yeah. No, like it is part of that too, but I don't think it's hard to describe. It's not really your fault in any way whatsoever for like that
Yeah.
kind of thing. I think, but by the way, the standing desk thing is something I wish I had, and I
Yes.
actually probably would have done it. But I do think that there is an issue right now with the idea of you just need to grind as many hours as possible to become successful. And the problem with that is it actually works on Twitch. Like there's always someone doing more hours than you, and they will, if you don't put those hours in, because Twitch is so momentum based,
Yeah.
they will gain the success where you will not. So it's very motivating for people in this momentum based
Mhm.
job, right? To just continue to put hours and hours and hours in. And they see success from, because it is successful. You see it, right? In your own right. It was really, really good for me. It was really good for you. And most likely the people that do it, it's also really good for them. The problem is that at what cost does that come at? Is it your fault or is it like the industry's fault? Like in how it kind of
True.
caters to that mindset. So
I
I
think
think it's
there
a
I
bigger
think for
issue.
something like that though, it is only successful if you are it depends on like how word gets out too. Like I would attribute quite a lot of my success to you actually. Because you talked about it on your stream and then I heard like Lyric, other people started talking about it, and that's definitely a big part of it. Because
Yeah.
there were several other small streamers that did it afterwards, and they went up maybe like 5 or 10 concurrent viewers because people didn't know about it. So there's definitely like a minimum threshold you have to have for something like that to work too.
Yeah, I mean that's the case for anything big going on, any big event, any word of mouth around Twitch is always going to be huge. So it depends on, I don't know. It's something that you can't even predict. It's very organic. So
Yeah.
I like it though, but I don't think. I don't think I am not gonna go for any more hours. I think I'm still gonna make 1 month out of the year like a big streaming month where I'll just do like a long stream, which actually might be revolved around a POE launch or something like that. Now.
Yeah.
I don't know yet, but 'cause
Yeah,
it's so
it's a good
easy to
idea.
grind hours in
Yes.
POE. Oh my gosh, time just gets deleted when you play the game. It's insane.
That
But
I definitely agree.
yeah, I can't in good consciousness do 20 hours a day. And
Yeah.
like I can't do that because I don't want to set that example, even if it is successful for me, like you said.
Yeah.
But I also know it would be a big burden on my already aging body.
Yeah.
So,
How old are you actually?
I'm turning 27 in a few months, so
Oh,
we're
I
getting
wish
there.
I was 27.
It's the time where you stop counting the years and you just kind of, hopefully, you don't have to worry about it.
I'm 31, turning 32 this next one in 10 months. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
wish.
You the health issues that I had to deal with were mainly because when I was always told when you turn 26 your metabolism will stop, and you'll basically just start you'll stop naturally burning so many calories, and that's true. When I turned 26, within like 4 or 5 months, I put on like 20 kilograms of weight.
Yeah.
And it was kind of alarming because I was like, oh my gosh, like I went from weighing something like 60 kilograms to weighing 80 kilograms in a few months. And I was like, okay, this is an issue. Like this is a big problem because if it continues, that's almost, you have to catch it. Otherwise it's going to be, it's just going to kind of escalate and get worse and worse. So I started working out and trying to get healthier because I knew it was going to, like that kind of health part of it was going to negatively impact the attempt at the hours. So
Yeah, you've actually inspired me slightly there because you have these the bicycle that's behind you there. I actually really like those
I need to
streams.
get on it more, man. I was really, really good at it because I set a goal, right? I said I'm going to do 162 kilometers in one session, which was like a 7-hour session, which is also called a Century Red for 100 miles.
Wow.
And I was going to do that in like August, or I think it was like August. And it was to prep and to prepare for November, right? That was the whole plan behind it. I think it was October when I did it. And I didn't realize that you have such little energy when you're so tired that working out on the bike is actually a very bad idea because you're just like burning all these calories that you shouldn't be burning. You should be saving them for just like just your normal brain function. So it's something I'm gonna attempt to get going again next year. I have some cool plans with it, so it should be fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is definitely a good idea for people that like to stay inside, especially if you like video games too.
Yeah,
you don't gotta go outside.
And you had it linked up to a game or something, right?
Yeah, Zwift. Zwift is there's a few of them out there, but Zwift is basically a virtual biking world where everyone in the world is on a bike, and there's no back wheel. It's called a Bluetooth trainer. So when the actual bike, when you pedal, it spins this flywheel in the back, which then the game will read that and translate it to speed, and it will add decrease resistance, and then this up here can increase height and elevation of your bike. So it's like you're going up virtual hills. It's really immersive and cool, and you don't have to go outside.
Are there other people in this game?
Yeah, I think at busy times there's like 5,000, and
so wait, we could go biking together.
Yeah, we legitimately could. Yeah. Also, with the new year starting, I'm pretty sure there's going to be like another 5,000 people on with like the fit kick that happens at the start of the year.
That's true.
But, wow. On the low hours, you'll see about like 1,000 people on each world, and they have different worlds you can go to, which is pretty cool.
That's actually pretty cool. I was thinking of doing like maybe 2 or 3 times a week doing like a exercise stream. So if I can motivate like somebody else to exercise, that's a good thing. At least one person.
It's all about what kind of exercise you want to do too. I was just trying to build cardio, like endurance, like make my heart stronger. There's a bunch of different types of exercise, and I thought for me that'd be the best for streaming, right? Because the heart is put under. You basically sit in a chair all day, right? So it's different.
Yeah. I just want to lose some weight. I'm definitely becoming circular, so don't want to do that.
I feel that, yeah. Catch it quick.
Okay. Next up is 5 questions by the same person, but Aphelion Perillion is asking, Path of Exile has a notorious hard learning curve, and a big part of learning the game is information. How are you adapting to that aspect of the game? Oh, and also learning where to go for that information.
Yeah. YouTube is by far the best resource that I have found for information on Path of Exile. Now, the problem is with how fast the game changes, you really have to make sure you're watching a non-outdated video. And there is like this lull where every single Path of Exile YouTuber stops making videos 2 months after a patch comes out. And for like a whole month, there's no video content. No one's making new video content for that patch about like, updating their old stuff like end game crafting or like end game boss guides and stuff like that. So it becomes difficult to find information, but it is there. And there are so many PoE YouTubers that you can definitely find them. You just got to make sure you research properly.
Mhm.
Besides that, there's also the forums, which are a great help for build guides and stuff like that. There's all those third-party websites like PoEDB and PoE Ninja, PoE Trade for prices and stuff like that. There's also like a lot of league mechanics will have cheat sheets and stuff, and typically on the subreddit you'll find those are posts. But all those links I found thanks to YouTube videos. Right, I was watching one, they showed an example. I was able to look at the info section and go down to the links, and that's pretty much how I learned everything in the game. And then just do it. Like the best thing to do for PoE is just to play. Like, oh, you want to learn how to do the first 10 acts fast? Watching videos isn't going to help you, but so much, right? Just keep doing them over and over and over again. You want to learn betrayal mechanics? Take one day, use all your saved up June master missions, and just try to figure it out. Because that's how I did it, and it was so easy. And I just like it's just kind of being in the right mindset to want to learn, absorbing all the information, then putting it into practice, and that's probably the best way.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a big game, man. It really, really is, and you've got to like, you can't go like you can't like just put your toe into PoE because you're not going to have a good time. You really have to kind of like jump into it and be like, I'm going to learn this game. So go on with all that, and it should be a challenge, but a fun one.
The next one is, what role does your community play there for you? Do you feel you'd enjoy the game just as much if you played it primarily off stream?
They definitely motivate me to keep going, but I like to say for every pog, there's a Keck W. And it is frustrating at times, just the amount of information and the inevitability with how good PoE is and how much time it takes for someone to learn the game is you have a lot of expert elitists that think they know better than anyone else. Mm-hmm. And they make it very aware. They make you very aware of how much they know. And essentially through like backseating and through other things, which is fine. But sometimes it's a little overbearing. But it's also just as overbearing. It's been very useful as well. Like I'll usually, if I have a question, I'll go like Google it or YouTube it. Mm-hmm. My chat's right there. They have the answer. I'm like, oh, what's the vendor recipe for a hybrid flask? I've never seen that before. My chat's like, you want to get this flask and then go with a chance orb. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like that's cool to know.
Yeah.
Or like my community helped me quite a bit when I was making my passive tree because they all kind of made their own passive tree similar to it, and we figured out like if we combined all of them, like what it kind of turns into. Utilities, third-party apps, like cheat sheets that I might need to know. It's been really fun. The only problem is all my deaths have been because of Twitch chat. I keep doing this thing where I'll get confident and I'll look over at Twitch chat and then I'll look back and I'm dead.
Yeah, I've had that.
I wouldn't say all of them, but a good majority of my deaths have been from that, which if I played hardcore, probably even worse. I remember watching a lot of rip clips and people looking over at chat, then all of a sudden they're dead. So I think it'd be a different experience playing it off stream, but man, every time you get like an exalt drop and there's pogs, and every time I get something, because there's so many items in the game, I'll get like a div card that's got a blue background. I'm like, uh-oh, this is probably pretty good. And I don't know what this is. Like, chat, is this good? Like stuff like that. That's so nice and unique to have in a game.
Yeah.
Which is why streaming's so much fun. But it's got its downsides, but I think the good part of it far outweighs that. So I don't plan.
Since you're a variety streamer, how did your community react to you playing Path of Exile? Like, is this better or worse than other games for you?
I think I pulled about the same consistent numbers. Like consistently, I'll pull the same amount of viewers. When I play variety, some games are way more enjoyed than other games, so I'll pull way higher viewers and then go back down to like low viewers. Where it's up and down depending on what I want to play. But it's been very consistent, and the best part about Path of Exile viewers is they will watch literally like they'll just watch no matter what, which is super cool. So a lot of them just have it on in the background for either background noise or just to have like some sort of camera, I don't know, like something on the other screen, which is really, really cool. That's and it's been good. Yeah. It's also been like very successful, man. I don't know. I have no complaints about it. It's been good. Now it is a different type of viewer. A POE viewer is not the same as a variety viewer.
Yes.
They can share, but yeah, I bet a ton of people right now watching this video are currently mapping or something similar to that. Yeah, almost. It's different, right? That's so they don't type in chat a lot if they're watching POE. So you have to use in-game chat or something like that, whatever your global channel is.
Yeah, like a chat.
POE viewers only want to watch POE, I found out. And variety viewers don't want to watch POE because it's so damn confusing with the visual clutter. And, oh, that unique drop, is that good? No, all unique suck. It's like, I don't understand. Why do unique suck? Like, they're unique. It's like, it's a lot of explaining. And I feel like I have to answer the same questions over and over again. So it's a bit weird. And I have a feeling transitioning out of it is going to be a bit of a challenge. Kind of like transitioning into it was, but it's not. It's going to be fine in my opinion, and it's been really enjoyable. And I think people have liked. I've had a lot of people in my chat say they've joined me, and like this is the first league they took seriously in playing. So
something I found really interesting about the PoE community is how little people talk, especially at league starts. Nearly every league start, I get accused of view-botting because there was one time I had 12 or 13,000 viewers, and there was one time there was 3 minutes with not a word in chat. And
everyone's busy leveling.
I was like, is chat broken? Are you guys okay? And everyone was like, we're farming. Shut up. I was like, okay, calm down.
Yeah, I get that.
That's like the only game like that I've seen. So
you know, the variety viewers that do stick around and watch POE, which I love, all of them talk in chat typically, and they're the ones pogging and kekdubbing quite a bit. So that's been a good thing. I've had my chat be active even during like the straight up grinding maps for 6 hours phase, but it's definitely a different type of streaming. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it's cool.
The last question from Aphelion was, will we see you the next league as well?
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to stick around. I think I'm actually, and I don't want to already say this, I'm going to challenge myself to something a lot harder than what I did this league. Now that I know a lot and I practiced a lot, depending on what I guess the plan is for next, I want to make sure the league mechanic will be fun. But I think I'm going to set myself a pretty big challenge because I want to do a lot of streaming. And I didn't do a lot of streaming for this league launch. The first 4 days I did, but then I basically weaned it off, and I just did like, your standard like 8 to 10 hour session every single day, plus playing off stream.
Your standard.
But I think that's very common, dude. But I kind of want to challenge myself even harder. Will it be hardcore solo stuff found? I don't know. We'll see. But it might be. I might join a race. I don't know what race it will be yet. Maybe it'll be the first to kill a boss, and maybe be like the deepest delve. I'll kind of have to decide. I want it.
You know what would be really cool?
What?
You, me, and Llama trying to kill Group Fun Hardcore Awakener. Just like the 3 of us.
In this league or later?
Yeah, this league.
Oh, yeah. I think we. Well, I'm on Solo Self-Found, right?
Maybe bring Quinn as well.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Should we make the characters? Are we doing hardcore? What would be the plan?
Yeah, hardcore, and then play as a group fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Oh God.
That'd be fun. I would like that.
Yeah, that'd be enjoyable for chat. I think they get a lot kicked up.
Nice.
Oh man,
I'll take that.
Yeah, I think it'd be. I think this league, the challenge was learning the game, and I think next league it's going to be challenging myself to take the game to like the next step or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm at 95, and 95 is that's crazy. My highest level before that was 92, and just going from 92 to 95 was like a mountain to climb. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It starts ramping up very hard then.
Yeah.
And even remember that 98 is halfway to 100.
Yeah, 98.3 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I might like every league. I might just try to get one level higher. Like next league, go for 90. I think I'm gonna get 96 this league, but like go for 97. Or go for 98.
I want to see the Waffle 100 grind, dude.
Dude, do you know how much that would? Oh God, it'd be so much work.
I want to see it. Not
next league. Probably not even the league after that. Maybe it would really have to be. It's going to be like what? For me, probably 2 to 3 weeks straight of grinding. Oh God.
Yep.
Where's your 100, huh?
I'll wait. I've had several. I have 7.
Where's this league, huh?
I'm not pushing for this league. I was doing bosses. I will if I find a like Crusader chest with the synthesis explosion. Then I'm gonna do a Winter up to 100. I have a couple of really cool ideas.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with Solran for a really long time, but I think I am gonna make another build, and I might go either Scourge Arrow. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Scourge Arrow or I don't know. There's a few ideas. I have to decide. It needs to look really good.
That's good though. I'm glad you're like so into it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I have confidence now that I can actually make a build too. Like I can kind of like actually, not as fast as you guys can, but like I can take a skill that I want to like main around, take the passive tree and put all like the main points and connect them all together. Like I feel like I can do that pretty well and make a decent build with a little bit of tweaking and help here or there. But yeah,
I'm excited.
It should be fun.
The next question is from Alel Penna asking, when is the next birthday stream with a Pikachu onesie?
You don't know this, do you?
No, I don't.
Oh, thank God. I've retired the Pikachu onesie. I'm gonna. Those times are over. Oh man, you don't know. So I had a 21st birthday stream on Twitch back forever ago when I actually turned 21. It was like what, like 6 years now? I will forever maintain the highest viewed stream for people that still watch me. And I don't watch the clip on stream, by the way. It's terrible. I decided that I was gonna do. I never really drank before. I turned 21. I'm gonna do 21 shots over the course of my stream, and I set goals or whatever back before it was kind of taboo on Twitch to do it. I was like, we're gonna start with $100 for a shot, and every single shot's gonna get twice as expensive. So like $100, $200, $400. It kept going up, and I'm like, I'll do like 4 or 5 shots, and we'll be good to go. And within 90 minutes, I was like 20 shots in, and I was like, I don't know what happened. I didn't start the stream with my Pikachu onesie. But I ended the stream, and 90 minutes later, my Pikachu onesie. I think I dug a tunnel in Minecraft for like 45 minutes, just a straight tunnel. And it was just straight vodka, just straight shots of vodka. And shot 21 went in, and shot 21 came out instantly. Oh my gosh.
No.
Oh man. And there's just like a video of me in a Pikachu onesie, probably at the lowest point in my life, if you call it that. And it was, man, that was an experience. And I feel like for everyone's 21st birthday, you have some wild stories. That is a wild 21st birthday story, but oh my gosh.
Awesome. I thought it was just going to be like wore a Pikachu onesie. Like I have like a chipmunk onesie or something.
Why am I not surprised?
No, I didn't buy it. It was a friend that bought it for me. It was. Hey, come on.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. Onesie, that's my rule.
Kim Finlord is asking, Waffle, when will you use your racing rig again?
I haven't. Okay, my landlord came over today, and they brought their kid as well. My landlord actually works for PlayStation. I thought that was kind of pog. I didn't know. It's the first time I met them. I have it set up. You can see it's even on a racing game. So I'm like, okay, the kid's gonna be bored. I'll have him come up here and do the racing game, and then he'll, then they'll think a lot better of me. Which it was. It was a really good impression. But yeah. It was I use it from time to time. We played a lot in November. We played a lot of Euro Truck Sim. Surprisingly, having a full simulator for Euro Truck Sim has got to be one of the most enjoyable experiences. So
that's really cool. It looks like a pretty badass setup.
Yeah, that's called disposable income.
Nice.
I don't know if it was the best investment, but it is damn cool. So
that's pretty cool. And you have VR as well, right?
I love VR. I have VR like every other night. I VR a lot, actually.
Nice. Yeah, I love VR too. I'm thinking about getting the Steam thing, Index.
Get it, yeah. I own like 2 of them. They're great.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm using the HTC Pro Vive at the moment.
Yeah. I used the Vive for a long time. I used the Oculus for a while, but the Index is like far superior.
Yeah?
Because it's got huge FOV. I'm a huge tech nerd. Huge FOV. It's got up to 144 hertz, which is like realistic as hell when you're actually viewing the game. It's way better than like 90 hertz, like typical. Nice. So it's pretty cool. The tech's getting good, man.
I definitely want to try that. And then obviously the new Half-Life game. I'm very excited. There's something called Boneworks?
No, Boneworks is not the new one. It's called Alex.
That's just a new game though that I want to try.
Yeah, that is actually really good. Quite immersive. And then the new one, I believe it's called Alex, right? Half-Life Alex.
Yeah,
that comes out next year. And that's gonna, if you have if you buy an index, I believe the game comes free as well.
Yeah, I haven't done that much.
Yeah.
Mostly like Beat Saber, some Blade and Sorcery, and then VR chat with like
Yeah,
nuts and
that's the
stuff.
main game. Beat Saber is one of the best games, so
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
I think the next coming up is actually the most important question in the AMA, and I think the answer to this is actually very important. So Rotan is asking, do you like waffles?
Okay, do I like waffles or do I like eating waffles? Because there's a big difference
No,
here.
there
Yes, I
isn't.
love. Yes, there is. I love waffles, but it feels weird to eat them, right?
No.
Doesn't it?
What do you mean? How can you like
Because,
them
like,
but not
you're
like
eating
eating
your
them? What do?
brethren.
You look at them? Do you put them up as art?
I mean, I'm just saying, I probably would rather have something else for breakfast than a waffle.
What?
Right?
Your name is Waffle.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Listen, it's like cannibalism at that point. It's essentially. I plan to go to Belgium this year, and I actually want to try real Belgian waffles. Is that a thing over there, or is it something we made up?
I think it's a thing.
I don't know.
I haven't been to Belgium. I'm pretty sure it's a thing. But wait, like, how did you get your name?
Oh, that's a long story. I stole it. Does that make sense?
No.
I stole it, kind of. Okay, story time. So back in 2004, when I was a wee, I was not known as Waffle back then. I was known as Phoenix Fire, but I didn't know how to spell
I'm calling you that
Phoenix.
from now on.
I didn't know how to spell Phoenix, so I spelled it Phinox, which is not how you spell Phoenix.
Phonix.
Like Phinox or something. And then I went from Phoenix Fire to Phoenix Ace because I thought it sounded cooler. And in 2004 and 2005, I played a game called Habba Hotel, which was an online visual chat room that like every 12-year-old played back then. So I was Phoenix Ace. I was a radio DJ back when I was like 12 years old. And I had a friend in the game named Giant Egg, and he was one of my best online friends back then.
Huh.
So a game in 2005 came out called World of Warcraft, and I played World of Warcraft because my neighbor brought it over because his mom wouldn't pay the monthly subscription. I convinced my dad that if I mowed the lawn every single weekend to pay for it, which is like $15 a month for lawn work, and it was like a huge lawn. I feel like I got ripped off a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
But he paid for it, and I saved his name in the game. I saved Giant Egg in case he wanted to come play with me. And I kept trying to convince him, and he didn't come over. So eventually I wanted to play that character, and I started playing it. It was a mage. So it's like, oh, maybe if I level him up a character, then he'll play with me. And I didn't like it. I didn't like that character, so I made a new character. And I started at this point like not really liking the Phoenix name, so I started taking other names like Giant Potato or Giant Toast, you know? And I just kept making giant names with food, and eventually I made an arms warrior named Giant Waffle, and I leveled that one almost all the way up to 60 back then. And that is kind of what solidified the name, because it was my main character in WoW. I liked the way the name sounded, and it was it kind of just stuck with me since then. So I basically stole my name from my best friend that I don't talk to anymore back in Habba Hotel, and I never regretted it, you know.
Well,
But waffles are good. I'll tell you that. Again, I made that name because my mom was making waffles that day for breakfast, and I do enjoy a good waffle, but it's got to be fluffy. Right? I like bigger, fluffier waffles. It's got to have a nice pat of butter on top as well, and it's got to have Canadian maple syrup, man. Without those three things, and it can't be. You got to eat it kind of carefully because you don't want the syrup to soak in too long and it gets soggy, which is a problem pancakes have a lot. They get too soggy. So it's got to be the right consistency. So
that was nice.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I asked that.
Yeah.
The next one is a question. This isn't from anyone in particular. This is something I ask everybody that's on the AMA podcast. The answer to this, like, is sort of like our friendship depends on the answer here.
Oh, over under?
Pineapple on pizza.
Oh no. Don't get me started. Don't get me started with this.
Good answer.
I ordered a pizza from one of my favorite places here called Mod Pizza. It's a really cool place that we have in some places in America. Basically, you go in, every pie, which they're called pies there, all the same exact price, and you can put as many toppings on as you want. And I told them my pizza I wanted, and I like, really quickly, and while they're making it, I walked over and paid for it. I didn't see them put pineapple on it. And I've always memed about how I hate pineapples on pizza. And I wasn't going to be like, this pizza has got pineapple, I'm not going to eat it. So I ate it, I had one slice before I took the rest of the pineapple off because it was awful. It was so bad. It was a nasty taste of like too much acidity and like the sweetness coming from it. It was just, it does not belong on pizza, man. It really doesn't.
Can we get some claps in chat for waffle?
Pizza needs three things. It needs the dough, it needs the sauce, and you need really fresh mozzarella. And that's all you really need. The sauce needs fresh tomatoes, and the dough needs to be fresh made as well. Those are all you need. Maybe some basil on there as well. Nothing else.
That's
Nothing
the
else is
best
needed.
answer anyone has given to that.
Oh man, I love pizza like way too much. I spent most of November actually learning how to make my own pizza, and I made some damn good pizza. But I love pizza. It does not, pineapple doesn't belong.
My first year in Belfast, I had a Domino's pizza every day, and I was on first name basis with every delivery person. And I would sometimes I would get a new one. I'm like, hey, are you new? And they're like, yeah, I started yesterday. I was like, oh.
It's a really weird story. Back in 2014, I used to order Papa John's, which is a pizza place here in America, every single day or maybe every 5 days a week. It was just too much in my opinion. But it was college, you know. Who didn't do that, right?
Right.
So the same delivery guy every day came over. His name was Andrew, and he just so happened to know what Twitch was. And because he noticed I was wearing a Twitch shirt once, he's like, "Oh man, do you stream on Twitch?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Do you want to come in? Because I'm streaming right now." And he came into my room and actually played Minecraft on my computer, the pizza guy, for like 5 minutes before he left again. But it was just like so bizarre. Just in that time of your life where you eat, I think everyone goes through a pizza phase. They eat a lot of pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's college, I feel, but
I had a pot noodle phase as well.
First name basis, they know my order as well, and it's
nice. I like that. Yeah. Jim Lord has another question. Ask Waffle if he has lost money by streaming POE compared to normal streaming. So, like, do you notice that between games? Like, is there a big difference in communities?
Have I lost what though?
Like, is there like a big revenue increase or decrease depending on what game you play?
Well, I mean, the technically right now I have more subscribers than ever throughout the year, so I guess that means it's good. But I'm also coming down off of the best subscriber month I've ever had. Right, I'm not counting November in that because November is like an oddity. It's a challenge, and like you said, like streaming so many hours a month, we hit like over 10,000 subs, and it's not something you're gonna maintain every single month at all. But if you compare that to other months, this has by far been the best. I don't know if it's still because we're coming down from that, but I haven't really looked at my analytics because this is one of the few times where I haven't really cared too much about the numbers. I've just been caring about like, am I enjoying myself? Like, am I having a good time? Because I find a lot, if the streamer's enjoying themselves, they will attract viewers just naturally that will also enjoy that. So I don't get the freedom to be able to do that very often because I'm always like playing the newest thing that comes out or whatever. But this has been the one time that I've just stuck with this, and it's been good. It's been really good.
Nice.
And I think a lot of people kind of like that a lot. And yeah, I think it's been. I haven't seen any decrease at all. The only thing is, I've been turning down sponsored streams to stream POE. That's the only issue. So I've snuck a few in there, but it's really hard for me. Like the first 2 weeks the game came out, I was like absolutely nothing. Like I can't do any sponsor streams whatsoever. I am focusing on POE, and that's it. And that was it is what it was. It was fun.
That's definitely like the hardest thing as a non-variety streamer is things like the bounties. Where it's like, you know, like the advertisement bounties, they're actually really nice. Yeah. Because you can just like, you don't have to swap off. Next question is Leobat asking, for Giantwaffle, what was your impression on the hardcore SSF race and what is your expectation about racing in the future?
I was very jealous that it was in a category that I didn't feel comfortable enough running. And when I say comfortable enough, I could have done it. I could have attempted hardcore, but I feel like I wouldn't have enjoyed myself because I just didn't know the game, right? And I didn't really know what I was doing. And it did take a lot of practice. Like I didn't know betrayal mechanics till like 2 days ago. Yeah. So like that's the situation I was in. So I feel like I wasn't going to enjoy doing hardcore. But I loved the idea of you throwing a challenge for the hardcore race, not because it was hardcore, because it was solo self-found. I think that was the best. I love solo self-found, and I pretty much want to like keep in solo self-found, whether it be hardcore or non-hardcore, permanently at this point. It's so much fun. But I do think that with the way that the game kind of is with visual clutter, and there's not really a lot of clarity behind what's killing you, it was enjoyable as an outsider to view the frustration from some of the deaths that were happening, because everyone enjoys other people's
I
frustration
love
from
watching
time to
people
time.
die.
Yeah, so like watching people rip to like a pixel on the screen that they couldn't see was just like solidifying, like, hey, this race is really intense and it's gonna be cool because it's gonna be a lot of rips, but I'm happy I'm not doing it. I'm happy I'm just watching it and stuff like that. So yeah. What'd you say? What was that? What'd you just say? I'm sorry.
What? I said I love watching people die. In games! In games! Come on!
That's a second clip today that's out of context.
I've had a few of those. I was in live stream fails for that one time.
Yeah. We need to I need to put more effort into learning the game, but I feel like I'll probably join the hardcore attempts at some point. But again, it's not going to be willingly. It's going to be because my chat keeps begging me to do it. So
I'll be begging too. That'll be fun. I'll enjoy that a lot.
You'll enjoy me ripping, and losing like 3 days of work and just being like destroyed. I lose an hour of work from dying at level 94, and it's just like the worst to me. Imagine losing the whole character.
Gotta play careful.
And there's a balance between us streaming so many hours. I think this happened to was it Lily it happened to, where you just have like mental fatigue?
Yes.
Especially when waking up.
Yes, that's
and
the
you
worst.
Just make yeah, it's like, how far can you push yourself where you don't make mistakes? Because if you make one mistake, it doesn't matter how many hours you put in, you lose it all.
I think my last 6 deaths are at the start of the stream.
Yeah, it's just a balance that's really hard to find, and you'll know when you don't have it because you lose all that work. So it's very stressful.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Samillion is asking, if you could pick any game to be remastered, which would it be, and what company would you want it to be remastered by?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater Underground. Is that the game I think I'm thinking of? The first it was my first game I really played a lot. Like I remember just like sitting down and playing a lot of it. That game was amazing. Amazing soundtrack, so much fun. Who would I want it made by? I don't really care as long as it's well done. But that, I know it's kind of a weird answer. That game is remastered, remade. It doesn't really matter to me as long as, well, I would say you probably want to remake the whole thing because it's really hard just to remaster. Just bring everything into. It's hard because you want to keep the aesthetic and the feel of the game, but you want to bring it into like the new age. Because man, that game, even if you're able to like multiplayer with friends, like all skating around the same like indoor park, and it'd be so cool. It'd be great.
I was not expecting that. I didn't know you were into skating games.
I'm not really. I just remember I have a lot of fond memories, and I'm just trying to think way back in the day of like what games I had the most fond memories with that needs an update that hasn't really gotten an update.
Oof, a lot of people are very sad you're not saying Diablo 2 right now. Let's see.
It's kind of coming, right? A little bit.
I mean, a Diablo 2 remastered would be nice.
Yeah.
You're Not Riza is asking, ask Waffle if you will ever get a 6-link.
I got a 6-link on Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Chris blessed me. I've gotten jebaited with 3 6-links now. And oh my god, is this a struggle in solo self-found. One of the reasons why I tell people to play solo self-found is it is frustrating, but as frustrating as it can be, it is so rewarding because you will finally get something you work towards, and you're not just buying it with your X that you've gotten. You've legitimately earned that item, right? Yep. So I found a chest plate I wanted, and I wanted to 6-link it, and I spent over 1,000 fusings on it, so many jewelers and chromes trying to get it all where I wanted. The best I got it was 6-socket with 5-link chromed properly. It was like 3 off colors. It was kind of a pain, but the stats on it were really good, so I was thinking of using it. And I was 1,000 fusings into trying to 6-link it, and I had 200 fusings saved up, and I went to go again. To go, I kept trying for it. Every time I have about 200 fusings, I go for it. I hit a 5-link after 9 fusings, and I keep telling myself, if I hit a 5-link, I'm going to stop and then save up till I hit 200 fusings again. But I was like, it's been 9 fusings. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. And I burned through all the rest of the fusings, and I didn't have a 5-link again.
Oh no!
So I had a prophecy I had saved up for a 5-link, but I had to unsocket everything, which means I had to lose the colors. So I lost the colors. I put the 5-link on it, which lost me the 6-socket. And then I had to recolor it and everything, which took a little while. And I sat there thinking, man, I spent over 1,000 fusings on this 6-link. and I have the recipe. I got really lucky, and I already found the recipe for the 6th link at like 180 depth or whatever in Delve. And I was like, I'm just gonna save up. I'm just gonna save up the 1,500 fusings to 6th link this thing, because this game is being extremely not nice to me with RNG for some things. Other things it's been great on. But the 6th link, I just damn 6th link. I'm doing T16s on a 5 link, and I was just like frustrating the hell out of me. So it was like, okay, if I grind every day, I can get like 150 fusings a day. 10 days later, I'll have this. On Christmas, or I guess the day before Christmas, I had a 6th link chest drop that I could use, and it was actually kind of viable. We crafted it with a deafening essence, and we got a max life roll, and it actually had pretty decent other rolls on it too. Right now, I'm going through Betrayal to get the percent mana and life added to it as well. It's a pretty good chest. It's not going to be my end game chest, but it's a pretty good chest. But I've spent so much work on that damn 6th link that we were finally able to use it, because we had to chrome it, and I had to get 3 off colors. I spent so many chromes. I want to say it was 400 plus chromes, which I know people are laughing. It's not a lot, but on solo self-found, it's a lot of chromes to get it.
It's annoying.
And I couldn't get it. It never hit. So I started doing Betrayal because I wanted to get the Varisi bench to be able to get white sockets to maybe cover the red socket I was getting. And you would think I had Varisi at 3 stars, so you get up to 3 sockets. 3 times in a row, only got 1 socket, and it didn't hit the actual socket I wanted. So then I had to like chrome it again. It's just so much stress and effort went into it. Finally, on Christmas, I had Varisi on as the leader for research, and it gave me the white socket that covered the red socket, and I finally got it. I was finally able to use my first ever self-crafted 6th link, and the feeling you get from that is it's so good. It's like it was all worth it, because I've bought my 6 links before, and it doesn't feel anywhere near the same as making it yourself. So pretty damn good. There's a lot more work to go in the game, but that
what's that you had on research again?
Who?
What was it you had on research? Level 3?
Varisi. That's how you say it, right?
Varisi.
Varisi.
Varici.
Varisi.
Varici.
Varici?
Varici.
I said that.
You say Varici.
Yeah.
You say C, it's Chi.
It's a C.
Varici.
It's a letter C. Varisi. What? How do you pronounce Octavia's first name?
Octavia?
The new guy. Octavius.
Oh, I can't remember. That's like a New Zealand.
Is it Tane? Is it Ton? What is it? I have no idea.
I can't remember. It's New Zealand way of saying it. I think it's Tane.
Tane? Yeah, I don't know. I call him Octavius because Tane.
I call him Tane, but it's Tane, I think.
Mr. T.
Mr. T. I
might call him that now on.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah. What do you think of the new mechanic, by the way? I can answer this too after you answer it. The new Metamorph mechanic.
I think it is amazing. I really like it. I'm mostly always excited to at least see what different like reward options they have. I feel like a few of the mods, the balance on them is completely mismanaged. Especially, I think it's Necrotic Barrage, which
Anything
is
necrotic.
Some of the necrotic mods are okay, but specifically Necrotic Barrage is just literally, you might as well just delete your character, because even with like super block, super dodge, super evasion, it was just like, and that was like on like 10k ES as well. So it's like, you know what? There's just they're messed up, and there's like a few others as well that are like insta death for your character. So I would rather like some of the the weaker mods generally be scarier. And then like those not be as insane. Like I like difficult things, but I like consistent difficulty. I don't like when it's like wet paper, bang, you're dead from something else. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
And as a secondary add-on thing about that, the monsters that thing can spawn, the fact that they can have auras, that's a bit insane as well.
I didn't even really realize that. I kind of just like stand off screen and just throw cats at them until eventually they die. That's kind of how because I'm just so afraid of getting one shot from it.
Yeah.
The main thing for me is that I stopped doing it because it kept killing me. Because I didn't realize what was killing me, but it did feel imbalanced at parts. But it's a really good mechanic because it kind of encourages you to clear the entire map. which I think is great.
Yes.
Right, because you can get all the body parts, which is awesome.
And it encourages people to kill the boss.
Yeah, which is also great too, because
Yes.
I think a lot of times you just go through the map and then you don't even kill the boss, and then you just kind of continue doing that. I do that on some maps, and the boss is really hard, but that's only on a few. But the only thing I think falls short of it right now, which they fixed, which was organ distribution, the metamorphs that you make, the super metamorphs, feel easier than like the metamorphs that you fight on the maps. And you're like taking these body parts from like these metamorphs you make and then making a super one, and they feel so simple. And I don't understand why it's so easy.
Mhm.
I think they like somehow mistakenly switched their stats. Like, I'd be okay if the super metamorph all the way filled up would one-shot you with some of those mechanics that you weren't really paying attention to or something that you had to like really focus on. But like when you're just in a T14 map and you're getting one shot, and then you take those body parts and you make a super metamorph, and it like you can kill it in such a quick, just like 10 seconds. It doesn't seem.
It's definitely like mostly the map mods.
It's map mods, yeah. I don't know. I feel like I wish it was a bit harder.
Yeah, I agree. But then again, like the ones in maps are just insane.
That's true. Sometimes you're just not paying attention, and that's something that it takes a lot of time. Again, I'm learning it too, like what map mods are really bad.
Yeah.
And like something you wouldn't really pay attention to. Playing the most enjoyable thing, playing my Soul Rend Bane build is a chaos damage over time build. I don't have to worry about physical reflect. I don't have to worry about elemental reflect. And since I have life leech, I don't have to worry about no regen either. So literally any map I can do. It doesn't even matter. So I've been doing a lot of unidentified maps to get higher quantity, I think it gives you, which has been just really, really nice.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
It's been pretty awesome. But yeah, league mechanic wise, I have to say Metamorph has been awesome. Now that I don't care about leveling and I don't mind if I die, it's been great. But what about the Conquerors to you? I don't know if you fought Cirrus on a hardcore yet.
Yeah, I killed him yesterday.
Okay.
I love the Conquerors. I feel like Cirrus is a bit too easy, but also unclear maybe without already knowing what he does. Like I think, yeah, I don't know. It was a bit too easy. But
as a compare, so Uber Elder compared to Cirrus, what would you say was a better fight?
I'd say Uber Elder's a better fight. Like Uber Elder, it's very clear at all times what you have to do. You're never thinking like, especially for me in this series fight, it was very easy for me because I'd watched somebody do it on standard. I watched Dan do it. I watched Steel did it, right? So I knew what to do. Then it was super easy. However, with Uber Elder, even if you're going in first, you just have to like see the moves, right? You're not like, there's never a question mark of, do I have to stand under this boss for 20 seconds? What are these things moving towards me? It's just like a combination of the Shaper and the Elder fight. So I think the Uber Elder fight is a better fight. It's also a lot harder, especially now with like the new life pool. Like having seen the series fight, like it's so easy. I went in on like, I had like level 16 gems and stuff, and I killed him on, I think I had Awaken level 5, so not the highest, but that's just more life.
Yeah, it doesn't do more damage, it's more life, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So,
but
I don't know.
But the like, and the Conquerors as well, they are amazing. They're some of the best things in the game. I really like how long the fights are, and that can be problematic, especially for players that aren't like really aware. Like I feel a lot of people just feel like their builds are shit. They go in and they're like, "Fuck, am I Quinn? Like, why am I dealing so little damage here? Like, what is happening?" So, but people just need to realize that they've like multiplied the boss life with 4 times. Because like somebody was in my chat being like, "Ziz, I really need some help. My ED build is dumpster. Like I'm killing bosses so slow." And he had like 60k more tooltip than I did. Whereas when I was like, you know, practicing Cirrus on it and killing the Conquerors very easily. Because like the Drox fight or whatever it's called, that can take 10 minutes. That's like insanely long compared to Path of Exile 3.8. But that's
is that
just,
which one is that?
That's the Warlord, the one with like the Fist of Justice and like
that's
Lawbreaker. Yeah, I love that fight. It's so long and I think it's really fun.
I yelled at my chat so hard. Oh my gosh. Because when you kept dying and you're like, I'm losing hours and hours every death. And also I was maybe kind of close to leveling. I had the most confidence in, he's the Yellow Conqueror, I think, in his fight. and I didn't really understand the mechanics fully, where you have to like kill the banners. I was really good at avoiding everything else, but like, oh man, once you get up above level 4, he gets actually like a lot of life,
Yeah.
and it takes a lot of time. He also resists chaos damage, which that's what I do,
Yep.
and he also has high resist, I think, when he's under banners or something. And it was just, bro, oh my gosh, it was so frustrating. It was so frustrating, that fight, but I love it. It's a really good challenge, but mostly I know why I died. Every time I died in those fights, I knew what mechanic killed me. It was the fist that came down, or
Yep.
is this over there. I was never questioning it, and it never felt illegitimate. Like, oh, it was just a what's it called, degen
Yeah.
circle that didn't even have a proper hitbox, or I flashed what I thought was out of the arena, but there was a wall there. Like, I really do feel like it was all those fights as a new player were what I expected the final fight to be.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely. See, as far as the serious fight, I feel like the degens weren't really like a lot of people were complaining about the radius of the degens and stuff. I feel like what they were going for were maybe like, sort of like when something's hot, right? It's not like you don't have to touch it for it to be warm and do damage. Like
hmm.
more like that's like sure, that's the actual hitbox of the circle, but it does more damage the closer you get to it. So I never felt like that was a problem. I like had a fairly like assessment of like, hey, they're gonna go do damage before I actually touch them.
You know what I kind of hoped? I really hoped Cirrus was a combination of all the mechanics from all 4 Conquerors together that made it way harder. And
Yeah.
I was really hoping it was going to be like, I hope you remembered all the mechanics from all the fights, because now they're in one, plus extra stuff, right? Like maybe combining these 2 things would make it a little bit more insane to deal with than just having to deal with each individually. That's what I wanted from the fight, and I was super excited for that, and that it's totally baited me. So
Yeah. Uber Awakener. No, I'm very happy with the new boss fights. I'm like sure the Awakener fight himself, it's not like the best, but it's still pretty good. I do like the fight still. The only thing that is completely unacceptable is the stairs, and people have brought that up a lot. That is like
yeah.
ridiculous. Like I was practicing it on standard, and like the meteor stage started, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll die then.
Yeah.
So
What
that was,
about what about the new Atlas for you? Because this is the first time I've ever seriously played the game, so it was the first time I ever really mapped. So I love the Atlas, but this is the only experience I've had with it. Um, it was a bit confusing because everyone was trying to learn how to like shape it properly.
yeah.
But
So
what do
I
you think about it?
love the new
Transitioning?
Atlas. I think it's amazing. There's a couple of problems, and I also think like at some levels it's slightly more clear, or I don't know, that might just be individually, but some new players have told me like they like the new Atlas because it seems more obvious what to do, because there's no like removing maps or only doing certain maps. But there's a couple of things that are like bad about it. Like Carve is currently like investigating this quite a lot, but there's a lot of ways to break the current Atlas by not completing all the maps. Like you can still perma-sustain one certain map. You don't
Yeah, I
get
thought
like the
about
max
that.
awakening level, but like it's
Yeah,
basically really bad that they've removed the way for us to remove maps at all. The other thing that
I
I don't
agree.
like is map sustain is far too crazy. This is more a personal preference, and it's completely okay to disagree with that. Because a lot of people like it when you can never run out of maps, right? Right now, if I do a tier 15, I'm gonna get like 3 to 4 tier 16s. Like it's just raining maps, and like every time I look at somebody's map pool, they have like 700 reds. So it's like spewing out maps. Um, I'm not a fan of that.
You have way better luck than I do sometimes, because I feel like it's just um sustaining maps that I want specifically is much more difficult than just trying to sustain maps in general of that tier. And I don't want to like over horizon stuff over to like other maps, but like, you know how you used to shape your map to kind of like specifically get one to spawn or whatever,
Yeah,
to drop, like that kind of thing isn't really viable anymore unless you like specifically don't even touch them at all when you're going through it the first time. But I have a bunch of maps, but they're not really maps that I want, if
yeah,
that makes
that's
sense.
also frustrating. But I don't know, like even though I have to do worse maps now, just because of like things like the awakening bonus, and that makes like endgame bosses a little bit more worth it, and then the actual metamorphs too. Actually, I love metamorph. I think it's so great.
Yeah. Also, I don't think my opinion on this should really carry too much weight because I never experienced previous mapping. It's just what I'm kind of going through right now. Because I don't know like what normal sustain was beforehand, but right now it seems I'm still doing fine. I just feel like I'm spending way more chisels and everything. And on solo self found, oh my god, are those rare? Like those, like I'm almost out of like elks right now are more valuable than chaos to me because I can't really do too much with chaos as I can with elks and everything. So
Yeah, that's fair.
it's just like it's a different approach. I think it'd be way better if I could just buy anything I needed or buy the maps I needed to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
chisels
Apparently-
are
yeah.
very hard to sustain.
Yeah. Oh, someone's at my door.
Do you need to get
Should
that
we-
now, or?
Oh no, it's a delivery. We're good. Don't worry.
Okay, sweet.
It's all good.
Nice. Mirkos is asking, Waffle, are you going to return to Bloons? That seemed to be a pretty popular game for you.
Free viewers, by the way. If you want a game and you just want to transition into variety and you want free viewers, play Bloons. It is such a weird game to play because your viewers will skyrocket.
Why?
But it's Bloons.
Hmm.
Have you played Bloons? It's basically
I love
White League.
Bloons. It's like one of the few phones I have on my phone.
Yeah, it's great. Maybe that's why I like Cassia so much. Maybe it's because I love Bloons.
I love Bloons. I don't like Cassia.
Okay, maybe it's not a good comparison then.
I hate her. I think it's just Cassia.
By the way, you see this thing that's happening? I have like all these people are like, Waffle, do racing sim. Waffle, play Bloons. Waffle, put the Pikachu onesie on. Waffle, get on the bike again. But I'm over here like, I just want to do POE. This is the life of a variety streamer. Like you
Yeah.
have to, this is what you deal with. It's like people
That's
want to
true.
see everything and they tear you in all these different directions and you can never fully invest into one if you want to. So
That's
it's
fair.
it's a good and bad problem to have.
Yeah. That's a good thing, though, that people are interested. Zen_21 is asking, ask him what his first ever build was.
I want to say the first ever build I had was Arc. It wasn't Arc Totems, was it? It may have been Arc Totems. Because I don't think it was Arc Traps. Something with Arc. It might have been Arc Traps, actually, now I think about it. Were traps a thing in 3.0?
Huh. I can't remember the meta back then.
I mean, but like, did it exist? I don't know if
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
meta.
Oh, yeah. They've existed for a very long time.
Actually, that might have been like the biggest meta.
I'm
I
just
don't
trying to
remember.
remember. I mean, they've
It was-
always existed, but...
Yeah, that was my first build. My second build was Winter Orb, and then my third build is the Soul Rand Bane. Winter Orb was insane. Oh
Winter
my
Orb was
gosh.
so good.
Yeah.
That was so beautiful. I love that build. Mr. Nervous is asking, best item ever dropped in game.
Best item ever dropped in game. Currently, my 6th link I'm wearing because that just felt so good. I bought my Impulsa, so that doesn't count. Again, this is why Trade League's not the same. The best item I've ever gotten. I've gotten several items. I got a Death's Opus the other day, just like randomly. I just happened to have everything I needed for it. And my chat was like, how do you just randomly have a 1.7x weapon? Like, how does that happen? I had the prophecy for it and I had the other weapon just chilling.
Nice.
I want to say it's probably the best straight up thing I've gotten myself. I don't know if it counts as the prophecy.
That's
Never
pretty cool.
gotten anywhere near Headhunter. I always joke about that. I try a lot actually to get Headhunter. Just like corrupting belts and stuff like that, or doing Nemesis stuff with ancient orbs. Maybe one day, but I think 1.7x is probably the highest. The highest one. Also, isn't there a div card for 10 exalts?
Yeah.
Like a luring bounty or something? I don't
Yeah,
know.
just from Aziri.
I think that might be one of the highest value drops I have as well.
Nice.
Which isn't much. That's just my experience. I've only played seriously for like since the launch of this expansion, so
Nice.
I got a lot of
good.
time
It's
left.
a good feeling
It'd
getting
be
rare stuff.
weird. It'd be weird if I already got something insane, right? So
Well,
my luck is
Dance
the
Gaming got a
opposite.
mirror.
I don't know what it is. Maybe can you ask Chris? I don't know if I'm just not on the list. I thought I was supposed to get streamer RNG.
Did you apply for it?
That's what I signed up for. Did I need it? I thought just streaming it was signing up for it. I didn't know there was like a Google Doc to fill out or something. I have the worst RNG when it comes to this game, dude. I don't know what it is. You 6 link like 4 things and like less than 100 fusings.
No, I haven't. I just faked that.
Hey.
Usually it's like 2,000 of them go, yay, look, 30 fusings.
Oh my gosh, it just that kind of I keep seeing clips. The problem is everyone, especially on the subreddit, they post clips like the second day of them getting insane luck. Like, oh, my Metamorph dropped 3 exalts, and then all of a sudden the best drop I've gotten from my Metamorph is like a Chaos Orb when it comes to currency. Like I've never gotten stuff even close to that. Like when it comes to linking or chromes or jewels, no matter what it is, I just get like the worst goddamn luck. Oh, but by the way, I think this is very normal. If you play POE, and I had to warn my viewers that are new, you will have the worst luck in the world. Everyone will have better luck than you. You are the most unlucky person. You will not get Exalt drops. You will not get whatever 6 link you want. You will literally have the worst experience while watching everyone else have the best luck and experience of their lives. I don't know what it is, but that has just been consistently the case for me. Every goddamn season I've played, I guess, like, casually, and now specifically in this one I played a lot. Oh my gosh. It's just because you see the few posts of extremely lucky people, and there's like hundreds of thousands of people playing, and you don't see their posts of them not getting lucky, and you just associate everyone getting, 6 link drops or Metamorphs and, all this crazy stuff. So,
pretty rough.
Sorry, I've been building up this frustration.
No, I can tell. It's good. Get it out.
I think I've had very average RNG in the game, though, which I think is fine. I just thought I was in the streamer pool, so I was supposed to have above average. So maybe I'm salty.
You know, a lot of people actually believe in streamer RNG, so.
Yeah, it's someone in chat just said it's skewed expectations. I think it's 100% what it is.
For sure.
So it's like when you watch your favorite streamer open up knives in CS:GO or whatever, and you're like, oh my god, they're so lucky, but they've opened up like 700 crates. So it's like, is it really luck, or is it, you've put how many fusing orbs do you think you've used in your entire history of POE?
Easily over 200,000.
Okay. And how many 6 links do you have? Like if you average it over...
No idea. Like
so like on average,
I think I've had 2 or 3 that's ever happened on like the first fusing that I've used on a chest, and then the most was just about to hit 7,000 fusings in one chest, and I was literally going insane. I was like, this has to be a joke.
Oh my god, what?
Yeah, I was like, what is happening? It was miserable.
Gosh. That sounds awful.
Yeah, it was not fun.
Okay, by the way, this is a free idea for anyone from GGG watching. I would love if in the advanced mod descriptions, when you hold Alt, you could see how much currency was spent on that piece of gear. I think that'd be a really cool thing. I would love to see how many jewelers, how many chromes, how many everything, right? I guess you don't really care about armor scraps. But I want to see, is that really a 1 fusing chest, or is it just a clip of the time you just used 1 fusing that you faked for livestream fail to react, even though you used 400 beforehand? Like, I want to see that like stat tracked stuff on the on gear. I think that'd be so cool to legit actually like, oh man, like this is like a 10 fusing chest. Like that's something I'm very proud of or something like that.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I think that'd be fun.
See some chests that's like 16,000.
And then you'll see cursed items with like 7,000 fusings for it or something like that, right?
Yeah,
oh, man.
I like that idea. Stat track for POE.
Yeah, I think that'd be a fun little thing they could throw in there. That'd be enjoyable.
That'd be a cool thing, just as a drop, like stat track. And you just stat track Chrome's heart, and you're like, okay.
It's an orb, stat track orb.
I like that.
I don't know. Orb of I don't know.
Mr. Matiki is asking, what is your most memorable gaming moment?
My most memorable gaming moment was when I was on front page in like 2017 or something. I don't remember when it was. Someone will tell me. It was when specifically what it was. Breath of the Wild came out, and I was front paged while I was beating the game. It was like the first day the game came out, and it was the first time I hit like 30,000 viewers, and it was the first time I ever hit anything close to that. And it was just like so perfect because I was only on the front page for 2 hours, and it happened to be the 2 hours I beat the game, and it was just like super hype, and it was really fun. And I think that was like one of the most memorable streaming moments I've had with gaming. And then beating, I don't know, anytime I beat a big game and it's a big deal, is a lot of fun. I don't think I've achieved anything really crazy when it comes to like, oh, no. I don't know why it slipped past me. I have a world first. This is my big claim to fame. I've world firsted, is that a term? Yeah. I've gotten world first for a Easter egg hunt in Call of Duty Zombies for the new Call of Duty that came out for, is it Blood of the Dead? I think it was Blood of the Dead, the prison map. We world firsted that. And that was like, I almost went insane. Actually, it was like one of those things you just have to like put a lot of hours into it, and that's something I'm very good at doing. So it was like 24-hour stream after 24-hour stream after 24-hour stream after 24-hour stream, and it finally paid off. because we got a world first for solving a puzzle, like a really complicated puzzle that no one else solved yet. So we were legit the first people to solve it.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
And that was so much fun, dude. But that was like tinfoil hat, because in Easter eggs you don't know what you're supposed to do. So I'm like, oh, I bet we need to knife that wall and shoot that rock, and then this will spawn, and then we need to use this ability on that, and you do that for like 4 days straight, and you start going actually insane, thinking of all these stupid things you can possibly do to trigger the next step of this Easter egg. And do you think there's Easter eggs in Path of Exile?
Oh, there is.
Like hidden ones?
So the main one is fishing. I don't really know if they're actually going to put it in the game or if it's already in the game. Like, if just no one's found it out. But there's so many fishing items in the game. It's something I've tried exploring quite a lot because I think it's really cool. And like, for example, one of the fishing rods, right, says that it'll make you glow when you're near rare fish. I've managed to make it glow 3 times. It's like maybe like from my experience, I'd say it's like 1 in 500 instances or something. So, but like, there's no like, how do you fish, right? Like, I can only make it glow, and nothing gotten past that. And I've never found Krillson. Like, I've found 3 mirrors, and I've never found the fishing master.
Huh. Okay, my theory for an Easter egg: if you go to Tane's lab right now, there is a crumpled up piece of paper on the ground, and there's a recipe, and I think it's a secret vendor recipe. Have you seen this? So
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, that's interesting. I haven't really looked into that too much.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But that was a good thing. We're basically out of time, so that was a good one to end on, I think.
Wow, it's been 2 hours. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. And you say you don't have more time, so we will wrap it up there. That's perfectly. Let's end with some shout outs. Giantwaffle, where can people find more of your channel?
I got a thing up there. Hold on, I'm gonna try to do this perfectly.
Yeah,
up
that's
there,
perfect.
and then that's me. So I'm Giantwaffle and everything. You can follow me there if you want to watch. It's like the noob experience at POE if you're interested in that.
Nice.
With a mix of variety gaming here or there. So it's been pretty good. But dude, Ziz, thanks man for having me on this, man, and thanks for being so helpful. I want to say I want to shout out you and every single POE streamer and YouTuber that has actually made a guide for helping new players out. Like I said, this game is extremely difficult to play, and without y'all, there's no way I could have figured it out, because there's been so many guides I've watched. Like at night, I would basically like put on guides for like figuring out how to like craft and stuff like that. So it's been super useful. And this is not just for me. Everyone in the community appreciates those, and we love you guys. So thanks for having me on the show, and thanks for doing all that as you do.
Thank you for
putting
coming.
You've been putting out so many videos even while streaming 18 hours a day, or however long some days are. So that's super cool, and props to you, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming on. And yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. My name is Zizaran, and we're gonna try to do another AMA next week as well. Figure out who that is going to be. So hope you guys enjoyed this so far. I'll let Waffle go, and thanks for watching, and try to die less than I do.